Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be making another breakfast item. We're going to be making French toast. There's a couple different ways to make French toast. You can make it on the stove top in a fry pan, or you can actually bake it in the oven. But I'm going to demo it in a fry pan. So first you're going to need a few ingredients. You need 1 egg. You are going to need 2 tablespoons of melted butter, plus 1 extra tablespoon to put in the pan. Remember, in the cubes of the sticks of butter, all the tablespoons are written on them. There's 8 tablespoons in 1 stick, and 1 stick is also equal to 1/2 cup of butter. But we only need 2 tablespoons for our batter, so we're going to cut that off, and I'll do that now, and I'm going to get that melting in the microwave. So after the butter, you are going to need 3/4 cup of milk, 2 teaspoons vanilla, 2 tablespoons sugar. You're going to need 1/3 cup of flour and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to melt my butter first. Okay, so I'm going to start in a bowl, and I'm just going to add all of those ingredients except for the bread that I'm going to be using into my bowl. So let me get a separate little container to crack my egg into, just in case there's something wrong with the egg, but it is perfect egg. I'm going to add that to my bowl for all the other ingredients to be added into. Okay, so in my bowl I have my egg. I'm just going to go ahead and whisk the egg to break up the yolk before I add some of the other ingredients. Okay, I'm going to add 3/4 cup of milk. Now I'm going to be using my liquid measuring cup because I'm measuring a liquid, which is milk. I'm not going to use my dry measuring cup for this. So I'm going to get down even. I want 3/4 cup, and it is right there. Okay, I'm going to go stick my milk back in the refrigerator right away because I don't like it sitting on the counter. Okay, I'm going to add my milk to my egg. Give that a quick whisk. I'm going to go ahead and add my melted butter. It's not hot, it's just melted. Now I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Vanilla extract can be really pricey if you buy it at the grocery store. I typically buy mine at Costco, but you can also buy imitation vanilla extract for a lot cheaper, and really, you probably won't really notice the difference in your home baked goods. For the amount of money, it's probably better to buy the imitation. Okay, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now I need 2 tablespoons of sugar. Now I don't want to contaminate my sugar with that wet vanilla that was on my teaspoon, so I'm just going to dry that off so I don't drip any wetness into my sugar. So 2 tablespoons. 1, 2. Then I need 1/3 cup of flour. Now I'm going to measure the flour just like I always do when I'm measuring flour. I'm going to gently spoon it into my measuring cup and then level it off. And I need 1 teaspoon of salt. Now, French toast was originally made for people to use up their day-old bread so that had gone stale, and by dipping it in just an egg mixture and cooking it. But we are making it so that it tastes much better now by the addition of vanilla and sugar and salt. Okay, so I'm just going to give all these ingredients a nice whisk. And I'm going to pour it into a flat pie dish. If you don't have a pie dish, you could always leave it in kind of a flatter bottom bowl. But this is just going to make it easier for me. Now, if you wanted to play with the flavors, you could use almond extract instead of vanilla extract. You could use a little bit of orange zest in there. nice. So feel free to kind of play with the flavors of your French toast. So the type of bread that I am using is this Artisan thick slice bread. I get it at Safeway. It's a Safeway brand, but it is really nice and thick slices. So I like this for French toast. You can always use just regular sandwich bread as well. So I'm not quite sure how much this will make with that particular bread, but the recipe does call for 5 to 6 slices. So I'm going to get my bread ready. I'll get 6 slices out just in case. Then I'm going to get my pan and I'm going to heat it over medium to medium high heat, and you are going to want a big fry pan so you can cook as many pieces as possible. Okay, so I'm using this big pan because it is the biggest, widest, flattest bottom pan that I could find. I am using a little bit more than a tablespoon of butter to coat the bottom because the pan is so big. Now you want to be careful because butter actually has a lower smoking point than most oils, which means that it will burn quicker. So you don't want to have your pan on so high that you end up burning your butter because that leaves kind of a bad flavor on your food. Okay, so while that is going, I'm going to dip my bread in, whoops, I didn't want to use the end piece, but you know what, that's okay. And I'm going to let it soak for about 30 seconds on each side to kind of soak up this mixture. Then, when it's all done soaking, you are going to shake off any excess batter and then stick it into your fry pan. And it should have a nice sizzle if it's hot enough. Get those other slices in there. I'm going to cook them for about 1.5 minutes on the first side and then flip them and cook them for about another minute. You're looking for them to be nice and golden brown. Okay, so you can really start to smell that butter cooking. It smells amazing. I'm going to just lift up one of the edges and try to take a peek at the bottom side. It's not quite golden brown enough, so I'm going to let it go a little bit longer. Okay, so I think it is just about ready to flip. So I'm going to start with the one I stuck in first. Give it a little flip. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. Let's do this little end bit. I hate wasting the ends of bread, so it might end up being perfect. And like I said, I'm going to let them cook for about another minute or so on this side until that side is nice and browned. Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. Okay, about another minute. Okay, so they've been in there about another minute. Take a look at the back sides. Oh my gosh, they look perfect. Going to start plating them on my plate.